Hey, welcome to the Hired AV podcast. My name is Joe Way, and I am your host. And boy, do we have a good one for you today. We have one of the OGs of the show, one of the initial people. I don't know what your first episode was, but at one point, Lex was the most person on the show, most highest number guest, the most appearances. I don't know. I can't. At some point, I learned how to speak English. Most
I
appearances.
I feel like you say that to everyone. I feel like that's one of your lines. I listened to an episode where you interviewed Jimmy's quote unquote exit interview, and you said the
Yeah.
same thing to him.
Well, he was. You and he were tied for a while. Like it was like 5, 6, and now I think you're pretty far down now. I think
Yeah,
there's been others who have gone up, but I
we
should
went
I should
to
look.
UCLA, and I became chopped liver.
You moved to Louisiana
That's fair.
first.
This
You
is
know.
virtual though. When do you do
Yeah,
this?
but I think your last one, I just grabbed you from the office and said, "Here, we're going to go and record."
That's true. You're very like last minute. It's happening now type of person.
Like I have an episode to release and I don't have one, so here, come jump in the office and let's do something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
hmm
And now that I work remote, I can't do that to people.
So is it harder for you to get episodes?
Yeah. Yeah. This new role, it's kind of interesting having a job that makes me work much
Yeah.
different than USC.
Yeah. I
I
feel
did. Yeah. But that being said, we have you on the show for a very exciting reason because, well, this is your exit interview. You're exiting higher ed
Yes.
and moving on to the corporate world.
Yes, but don't worry, I'll still be an AV, so a lot of everyone will still see me, unless you don't travel, and then you won't.
So you are, well, you make the announcement. I guess, well, actually, I just made the assumption everyone knows who you are because they do know who you are. But introduce yourself, tell people who you are, what you do now, and what you'll be doing. Well, actually, by the time this comes out, what you are then doing now.
Okay. Hello. I'm Lex Evans. I started in AV about the same time Joe did, and I was one of his first student workers, and then that morphed into me working in AV at USC, and then kind of developed into becoming the digital signage manager within our department, kind of building up that program here at USC. But this is my last week at USC. My next opportunity and exciting adventure I'm going to go on is to Epiphan Video, where I'm going to become an account manager with corporate AV and live events, working primarily in inside channel sales. So I'm very, very excited. I'm more excited than I thought I'd be, to be honest.
That is awesome. First off, I just want to say congratulations. I'm so happy for you because I've gotten a first row seat to your entire career trajectory from the very first day. Having you as a student worker, I still always remember that side library meeting of the first time we got our team together.
Mm-hmm.
And going on from there. And say outside of when I bailed on you to UCLA and you graduated and had that little bit where you worked outside, we
Yeah.
had our entire time together in higher ed. So
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, a little bittersweet I don't say bittersweet. I'm happy for you, but it's also sad to say, oh, she's moving on from it. You're the one I've known the most in it. You and Hunter, I guess Hunter hasn't bailed on me yet.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. When I thought I was trying to do reflections or whatever yesterday, and then I was thinking about my entire AV career has been in higher ed. So, and I don't think about it too much because that's just what I've experienced and what I know. But it's going to be really different being outside of higher ed and like the community we built there, and you know your field. So I know higher ed, I know what to expect, and there's not a lot of newness. So this will be a lot of newness. So it'll be interesting. I think I'll miss like the comfort of higher ed and knowing everyone and the group of friends that I've made. But yeah, new things should be fun.
Yeah. So I guess talk about it. I mean, obviously, there's a big change going from managing the digital signage and all of that, and the content creation teams, and even doing that for HETMA and kind of being our creative director and what you've done for Higher Ed AV and HETMA and all that, and now moving on to being an account manager. What are the things that, or, what are your thoughts, the positives, the negatives, where you think the learning curves? I'm going to ask a multi-point question just so that you can take it anywhere you like.
Okay. Well, in my current role, I really loved being on the ground and like building our systems and genuinely making our technologists, end users, and customers happy. It's been a really fun challenge, and I've kind of learned that nuance of balancing the excitement of like really fun, new, sexy technology, and then the reliable, tried and trues, and what we want to put into our systems. So for the next step, I think that's the really good perspective I can bring from higher ed, which I would love to talk about later. Just how much higher ed I feel like has prepared me for this. But it's helping me, but I want to help provide the best solutions for, our partners, customers. So at the end of the day, I like helping people win. So their win feels like I win, my win. So I feel like this is going to be the perfect opportunity in that sense, getting to work with people who are solving everyday customer problems. So, but the thing that I want to be that I kind of want to set myself apart is to lead with authenticity. Because I found that being honest up front is what gets to the right solution faster. Like anywhere I've worked, especially at USC. So my goal is to be that trusted partner and become somebody that teaches the value of the products, but never sells just to sell. Like I don't want that icky car salesman feeling. So if the customer wins, everyone wins. And that's kind of the mindset I'm using going into this position. Obviously, working in higher ed, and then prior to that, I worked a little bit for local government. I've never worked for a for-profit institution necessarily. We don't care as much about selling, and it's all mostly just about adoption and bringing people in. So this will be a different perspective to look at, but I think I still get that excitement to be able to solve those problems and to help those customers. So yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah, I love that. I do want the next question I'm going to ask is I do want you to talk about how higher ed has prepped you for this. But my thoughts first too is you kind of touched on it about not being salesy and then pushing the product, because a lot of times in higher ed we don't need people to come in and sell us stuff, right? Because we're designing solutions at scale, right? And we want our problems solved. And then come in, and then if you're the right product, then we're going to pick you. And if you're not, then we're not, and how you solve that problem. And I think that is a good perspective. I just answered my way I would answer that. Now you answer the question.
Yes. I am so glad I have that perspective because I've seen, what works and what doesn't work in terms of, partnerships and things like that. And I think Ron has it really nailed down. It's really about, partnering with the higher ed managers and being there to help with their solutions, hearing them out, and just being a part of that community. So, what issues, the community's looking at. Like right now is budget, kind of always is a little bit budget, but just being able to be there and then be aware. I think that's huge. When it comes down to the customers, sometimes you can feel like people can get lost in the numbers and lost in the excitement of the technology. But at the end of the day, like, what are you solving the problems in an efficient way? Are you solving the problems in a way that they actually enjoy using the technology? And are you working with people who won't lie to you and say, yeah, this will be really cool and fun, but then next thing you know, your users are frustrated with how complicated the new technology is, and maybe your support team is frustrated with how much they have to come in and either train or fix the system or things like that. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, it's your answer. So it really it answers it. But yeah, I love that, and I think one of the things too. And look at this. Watch me actually give a push for Epiphan. Here's your free commercial. It is a product that actually kind of works itself, right? It's like why we use it at SC, we use it at UCLA. It's they do a great job with it. And I think that that is one of the things but that as you kind of come in, knowing that you are repping a product that is solid, right? It does help when you don't have to, lie about what you're trying to sell as well. So you've got that going for it.
Yeah,
But okay.
the history sells itself, and then also it's really nice to have a product that it's like a tried and true situation, and not having that evidence, especially personally working with it. I think that's gonna be super helpful. But I'm also excited just to get it to know the technology a little bit more. Obviously, we work with so much at USC, so Epiphan was just a portion of it, but now it's going to be my pure focus. So I'm excited to see, how that looks different in different settings, especially with corporate America, with live events, which is going to be my area of expertise.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And I think you're perfect for it. I think live events, I think you're going to rock that. And they're known for, I mean, Epiphan is there everywhere. And, you got to go work for was it Higher Ed Navy Ally of the Year too. So
Oh,
Ron,
I'm
Ron,
own.
Ron got that this last year, right? So, there we go. Now, tell me, I'm going to flip the question now of kind of, how you were prepared. What are you going to miss from higher ed? Or what do you think you might miss?
I kind of hinted at it before, but you're comfortable. Like it is something. I know the people. I've known you for 9 years, which is crazy. I think we've spent more time together than I have with a lot of family members within the last couple years or last 9 years. So it's I'm going to miss the familiarity of it, and having that rapport with everyone. And going into a new space is going to be really exciting, but it's going to be challenging because I don't have, those initial relationships. I think also having you when I came to USC and then kind of started going to trade shows and different things like that, having you kind of help break me into the industry helped a lot. And I will, but won't have that in the next position. So I'm excited to see how I'm going to approach it, where I have to be more of an active member in building my community and my connections. So I'm going to miss that a lot in higher ed. I'm going to miss, some of my coworkers. You go through hell and back with them, and then you develop these bonds. And I'm going to miss some of them, but I've reminded them that I'm not going to die or anything like that. So I'll still be able to chat with them. And then also, I mean, I've been remote, so I have kind of been missing out on this, but just being on a college campus, I mean, nobody can deny it. There's energy, there's excitement. It's really fun being there, really fun working day in and day out, having a new challenge every day, and then working towards, bigger objectives at the same time. There's a lot going on, which I really appreciated and loved. And the community, even like within our department itself, is fun. Like having college students is fun. Having college students that became leads, that became full-time staff, is really cool. And it's a really fun experience. So I will miss it. I will miss the easiness of it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny because now that you say that, in my role, I'm now remote, even though I'm in LA, I didn't move away from it. Like, I never go to campus, right? Like ever. So it is a weird feeling going, and you do kind of forget about what's special in higher ed until you show up and you're like, oh yeah, look at their hammocks are hanging across the grass and they're hanging out and they're getting together, and you just sit in the coffee shop and it's like, there's something that is special. I'm already missing it, even though I'm
When did you become 100% remote?
in the new role. So 2 years now.
Oh, 2 years. Okay.
Yeah,
But do you feel like you travel enough to get like that social itch?
Yeah. I think the travel and the conferences, but it's weird. Like I said, I go to campus maybe once a month. I actually can't remember the last time I was on campus. 3 months ago, 4 months ago. And so it's strange.
How does it feel like leading a team where some members are on campus, right? Because you have some hybrid at least.
Yeah. Most are based, but yeah, we have this kind of, because I have all of the on-prem, right? But a lot of our programmers, all that are remote. So it's different. It's a change, and to be honest, like even when you moved, it was like, okay, how am I have one random person who's not part of the team, right? And it was weird for you too, right? Because we're going to team lunches, and I remember the one where we put you on a laptop and you were sitting
Yeah.
at the, that's awkward, right? Um,
Yeah.
and then, but then, even for me, it's weird. They're now starting to have conversations about stuff, or saying, "Oh, we had lunch with," or "We went to," here, and I'm
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I was not part of that."
Miss it.
I'm just I'm a paper pusher now, and I'm a meeting person, and all my relationships are on Slack. And if no one puts a comment on the team Slack all day, I feel lonely.
Yeah.
Y-
I
You know?
I always feel bad, like I always feel like I shouldn't complain about being remote because so many people want to be remote, and I feel very lucky to be able to be. But I mean, you understand now, like that transition from in person to remote is tough, especially when you work better, where you could just pull somebody into the office and do an episode or like have those chats in person. And at first, it's really exciting because you're like, finally, I do not want to get up as early and see these people in person every day and do all the traveling. But then you really do miss out on those little moments and those connections. And it has been really hard over the last like 3-ish years being the only remote person on the team. That was also something I made sure was not going to be the case in my next position, because it is so hard. They're all in person. They're having these conversations. There's some full-time staff now that I've never actually met in person who's on our team. And it's strange. And I wouldn't recommend it to anyone from a leadership point of view, or even from a staff point of view. It's just really hard to get that work done when you don't have a hybrid situation set up for your team, and which was not really the case for us.
Yeah, yeah, no, and it is interesting because, like, even for me, I think, oh, I want to go there, but because I have 5 verticals under me, it's actually horrible to go to campus because I can't actually meet with everybody. The
Oh,
only way to actually have meetings is to schedule them with the various, and then of course, most of my time is with IT leadership, not actually with my teams. That's what
can you do
my other
like
staff
a
are for.
vertical a day? Like you come one month and you
Yeah,
do this vertical, and
I probably could. I won't, but I could
because it does
for
sound
sure.
overwhelming to do that many. I forgot who I was talking to the other day. Was talking about how many people were under you in your team. And for some reason, my impression was just like it was the same thing at USC. And it is very much not. You have a lot of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we literally just announced a full consolidation of all services. So all athletics, IT, extension. So
No
my
way.
team just went from 39 to now probably about 600 if you
Fully
count this week.
central.
Yeah, full central
Wow.
email just came out. So, and
Wow.
I've been working on it for a few months, but it's all
Yeah.
official now. Yeah.
That's
So,
the dream. I hope that
mhm.
you set a precedent there, because a lot of us know, like, it would be nice to have more universities have a central solution, and it would just be so much easier going from space to space and having that continuity. So I'm actually really excited to see what you guys end up doing there.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it was part of the reason I came over. I didn't actually expect it to happen this quick, to be honest. But but as I think like we're all going through in higher ed, which is interesting here to actually pull it back to a question. If so, but I mean, there's a lot going on in higher ed with loss of funding, right? Hiring freezes, things like that. The kind of the insecurity and unknowns of kind of where to go, which is what caused ours, right? And a lot of schools are
Mhm.
moving that way. I wouldn't be surprised if SC went that way in not too long, after seeing how we do it. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised. But, so now when in your new role, you're going to have to talk to customers like me, or maybe not your corporate AV. I don't know if that higher ed or your,
I'm going
but
to
let's
talk to the people who talk to
talk.
you.
All right. So, how are you going to handle those? You've got that the first count experience of it. And, how are you planning on kind of prepping yourself for that kind of change in role?
Yeah. So, even though I'm going to be talking mostly to the people who are in person selling to you, I will very much be involved in the process in different ways. And I think that the biggest thing is that I have that experience being the end user, being the people getting the technology and trying to find the best solution. And I really want to bring that perspective in. And I think the authenticity that I have, I'm, you know me, like I'm pretty honest, I'm pretty upfront. And so being able to problem solve with them and finding the best solution with them, and being willing to say, okay, maybe our technology is not the best for you, so that we can build that trust, so they know that we're always I'm always there to help provide the best solution. I think that that's going to be the part that I'm excited about, but will definitely be a challenge because it's also easier said than done, I'm sure. So right now I'm at the point for the position where I'm excited to see like what's going to be the big learning curves for me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also exciting. I mean, I'm happy for it. I mean, there's no way what you're planning and what you're thinking is in your head is actually the way it's going to be, but it'll
Right.
be a little of something different, but it could be something great too. And being able to mold that. And, you're going to a great company that has a lot of room to mold things into that fit you, right? And
Mhm.
support you. So I think that's going to be great for you.
Yeah.
Here's the question. How long do you think it'll be till you get an email that says, "Hey Lex, we need a slide for something. Can
Ugh.
you design I mean, it's going to come
For Epiphan or for
for
he?
Epiphan. For
Um,
not for me. Well, for me, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I randomly did, but
um, I mean, we'll see. But that wasn't really brought up at all in any of like our conversations. They do have a marketing team. So hopefully not too often, but I'm also excited because it's not like I'm completely going to leave any sort of design element out of it, because you make little slideshows, and mine aren't going to be boring. Let's just put it that way. So I'll still be able to use my creative juices, but I don't think the marketing team seems pretty set up. I don't think they'll need me, but if they do, I would say like 2.5 months in.
I mean, live events. See, 2.5 months. All right, we'll set the over under on that one. But, live events. How often you're sitting there at the HETMA booth putting, "Hey, we need a this," or at the Hired AV Awards, "Hey, we need this," and
Yeah.
I can see you at the Epiphan booth wearing that green polo, and
Don't get me started on the polo.
and
Don't get me started on that. You know how I feel about polos, and that was a very big thing that I had to consider. Am I ready to wear polos again? And it just was something I'm just gonna have to do.
well, or use your influence and power to say, let's rethink some of the dress code.
I would be lying if I said I haven't already brought it up. What are some different solutions we can have? I've definitely already brought it up to my boss, my coworker. I'm like, okay, what's the plan here?
Oh, oh, I love that. That's funny. All right, so I actually had a question, but I can't get to it. Damn, what was my question? And it was I swear it was, oh, yes, it wasn't a question. It was more of a statement. Something big happened yesterday, which would have been a week for people who are listening. You got called to the 40 under 40 name to it for commercial integrators. So congratulations on that.
Yes, I'm actually so excited. That was this one's like big. Every year I've seen the 40 under 40, like everyone has been incredible, and I love reading through the little bios. And it's so cool to watch it, and the fact that I'm in it this year was kind of crazy. So it is really exciting, and I feel like it's a really nice bookend to USC. I at the first year I think I got SC in the 9.
The 9, yeah.
Right. And so that was an exciting intro into my AV career. And then this is a great way to bookend my time at USC and then to start my next adventure. But it has been really exciting. I've never had a LinkedIn post pop off the way it is now. So it's been fun. And I'm already connecting with a lot of my class. So yeah.
Awesome. And you had a great SCN the 9 class too. Like you all became kind of tight as well, didn't you?
Yes. Some of them I talk to pretty much weekly still to this day. So it is really exciting too. I hope that some of these people also become my friends. I'm working on it. I've already DM'd a lot of them.
And it's funny. Well, first off, I think someone even put on your post. Well, I said no brainer to that. Of course, you're going to be in the class. I mean, you and I was someone else put. And I kind of thought too, was like, wow, wait, you hadn't been in it yet because you've done everything. Like, and I'm gonna applaud you and say you've done everything in the industry that you'd want to see in career growth. Like, literally, you literally stumbled into AV, and and took it and found your niche. And SCN the 9, and then your involvement in the women's groups and Digital Science Federation, and getting involved there, and even being a key part of Higher Ed AV's growth and HEPMA's growth. HEPMA wouldn't be where it is without that. And now I think you said, like, capping this off, it's like, well, of course. I mean, you're under 40. You don't? Of course, you would be on that list, right?
Yeah. I again, this feels weird because I'm not used to like it feels braggy, but I will say you're not the first person who said that, or the person on the post isn't the first person who said that. I've actually gotten that quite a few times. So I don't really know why people did think that. It's exciting that they did, because I'm amongst great people. But that is also a huge part of a lesson that I learned within the last 6 or so years, is that you can be doing a lot and you could be working your tail off, but if you don't share with people that you're working, share with people that you may want a new challenge, or share with people that what are you working on and where your goals are and blah 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 blah. If you aren't willing to do that, it's probably not going to happen. Everyone, like a lot of people, really do want to help, and this last year especially, I just kind of got to the point where I was like, I just need to be brave about what I want, and what I'm aiming for. And because of that, I'm like the VP of Wave It now. I'm on the DSF board because I was chatting to members in digital signage and saying, I want to be more involved. I want to do more. So I got onto the board because of that. I got 40 under 40 because of it. All these opportunities that never would have come up if I hadn't been brave enough to say so out loud. I hope that if they get anything from this episode, that they learn to do that, because that has already been huge. And I've only started implementing it maybe since like August of last year. Oh, so it is a year. Yeah.
I think that is awesome. I was going to try to make a question of give some advice for people. How do you say, because you see it all the time. One of the biggest things in higher ed, and I see it a lot, is the quote unquote imposter syndrome feeling, but especially in higher ed. I think a lot of it, but sales things like in corporate, you're like you brought up earlier, everything is about the bottom line, right? So you are usually less imposter syndrome-y. Probably,
Mm-hmm.
I'm way generalizing in corporate because it's about a bottom line. You have to put yourself out there or you're not going to get the sales. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But in higher ed, we see it a lot of people all the time, that imposter, or afraid to even step into the bigger, like, here, I'm going to pull another one here. The comfort, right, that sits in higher ed. To step out of that and put yourself vulnerable into the greater industry is huge. Give your advice for how people what even made you say, okay, I'm going to do this?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to the culture, and the type of people that culture attracts. So in corporate America, I think it does attract a different type of person than higher ed does. In my experience, higher ed people are used to being in the background because of just the nature of the job. A lot of people came from live events, which is the background, which is the nature of the job. And so for some people that's exactly where they want to be. And if that's where you want to be, fantastic, go with it. But for others, if you're thinking like, okay, higher ed is really cool, but I kind of want a new challenge. I kind of want to pivot, or this doesn't feel like a culture fit for me anymore. I would say begin talking to people, and then kind of use that domino effect. So the way I started, especially getting into digital signage, was, I met somebody who kind of knew about digital signage, and they introduced me to somebody else, and they introduced me to somebody else. And I think I was like, because I did, those casual Zoom chats or in person if I could at conferences. I would try to talk to the speakers afterwards. But it was like maybe 15 people in by the time I met like some really key players. And then I was able to get a lot more involved. And then that kind of has naturally happened in general AV over the last 6 years. It's just, you meet somebody who meets somebody who meets somebody. So you just have to be willing to put put yourself out there, say what you want, and really also have an idea of maybe the direction you want to go in. Maybe you don't have an exact idea, and that's okay. I didn't either, but you have a direction and you know what you're good at, what you're not good at, and you'd be able to speak to that. But I would also encourage HETMA and Higher Ed AV to take a look at that culture and see what you can do to inspire more confidence and more more upfront out loud confidence. I think that would be a great challenge for you guys as a community as well, because I think it's a lot easier to be brave when everyone's being brave together. That makes sense.
I love that. Absolutely. And I think, as a niche, at a vertical, we have that power to do it together and get out there. And I like to think that's actually what HETMA has done, right? We call ourselves channel partners, not necessarily a member organization, is to kind of have that advocacy, because who else is dumb enough to throw a big old party booth in the middle of the
Yes, you guys are very out loud. That's true.
For good and bad. Is it all publicity is good publicity, right?
No.
No.
I used to think that, but no.
Okay, why not?
Because I think your reputation matters, and I think that your publicity should reflect your values. And I would be really sad if something happened that wasn't a good moment for me, and that became, public, and then that's what I became known for. I want my reputation to reflect who I am and who I am as a person. So I think that is kind of where I've landed on that. For HETMA, luckily, I feel like the overall press it has been really good. I think it's also really easy to like an advocacy group, like only terrible people are going to be like, ew, this, advocacy for higher ed, ew. So I think that's been really nice, but it is always something that I think any entity or person should be careful of, making sure people's impressions of you are what you want it to be.
Yeah, no. All right. I will give you that. I agree with you there. But it is true, and this is true in life, right? If you do 100 things, if 99 are great and giving and all of this, but you do one thing that's stupid, everyone hangs on the stupid thing, and that becomes the reputation. Trust me, I know that. That I go through that all the time, and try to do 99 other good things. So so absolutely, I think you're right on it, especially for career growth, right? There is a point where you get to a career and you can be like, screw you, I don't care anymore. Whatever. But I think if you really are trying to grow your career, it does mean more. It does take a lot for that.
Yeah, I think that, the higher up you get, maybe the more liberties you have to be able to act the way you want, whether that is good or bad, who's to say? But, there's jokes always online about how, somebody a little bit lower will go through, write an incredibly thoughtful email and give all the numbers for the projects, whatever, to a C-suite, and then they'll email back K dot from iPhone, sent from iPhone. It's just one of those things that you have to work your way up to be able to have the privilege to be able to do that. I hope that I'm not that person, but maybe I will be. I've eaten my words several times in my life. So it'll be interesting to see how my thoughts and opinions change as I progress in my career.
Yeah. I'm so proud. Let's see how wise you are in your age here. So, all right. So on your way out the door of higher ed, give us as a vertical advice. Where, and I'll let you take it however you want, of how do we improve ourselves? What do we need to think of? Again, even maybe from your new point of view, or just you've seen us around.
So you want
I'll let you take. Yeah, again. Like what do we need to what do we need to know? What do we need to know? You're now going to be a corporate person. What do we do wrong? How about here? I'll work the question better. What do we need to do and know to make your life easier, to work well with you? Like what you're going to come in from a point of view of account where you're put your account manager hat on now.
Sure.
What do we do wrong?
I would bring back the honesty always wins. You can have a wonderful big vision, But if people are lying to you and people are just saying, yeah, sure, we can make that happen, and it's not realistic, then it's only going to cause problems for everyone involved. Everyone's already tight on budgets. We want to create that solution for you. So just be honest. I think at the end of the day, honestly, from everyone, if everyone's honest, things will work out. I truly believe that. So that would be my parting advice. In a broad way. In a personal way, it would go back to my previous point where I've met some wonderful people in higher ed, and what being public to me means might be different to you. You don't have to go on podcasts, but I would encourage you to advocate for yourself and be able to show the value that you bring. And be able to communicate that to people around you. And I think that you'll be surprised how much that can help in your day-to-day and feeling valued as an employee, and just being willing to do that. Long gone are the days where you just put your head down and work hard and the rewards will come. That's just not how things work anymore. So you deserve the rewards. You just have to tell people the work that you're doing, and it'll come.
I love it. I love it. That is that's a good one. I like that. All right. So we always got to end with a little rapid round. You've been on it a billion times. I got to do a couple of quick ones, just some quick ones before we wrap it up. Okay. We're going to do a little game of either or.
Okay.
Epiphan's astronaut or whiskey?
Astronaut.
Okay. Tommy Trojan or the Lancer guy?
Tommy.
That's a good answer. All right. SE in the 9 or commercial integrator 40 under 40?
SE in the 9. Got to respect the roots.
Oh, all right. All right. Let's see. Student worker staff or full-time colleague staff?
Ooh. If it's in person, student worker. If it's remote, colleagues all the way.
All right. That was good. All right. I like that. I like that. All right. So that was it. I'll spare you the rapid round with that one.
I'm bummed I didn't get to give you my my feedback on you like Jimmy got to give.
What? Okay. Well, there we go. All right. Okay. What's the But we haven't worked together. All right. What's the feedback on me?
We haven't worked together, but we also have for a long time.
That is true. Well, technically,
with Keith.
We technically have never stopped working together.
Exactly.
All right, go for it. All right, I can take it. I think I can. People have stopped listening by this point, so it's okay.
Well, I want to lead with the fact that you have been a fantastic leader in the sense that I don't think anyone has ever been really that afraid to be truthful to you. You've made it like a very open space, and I think that's a huge quality in a good leader, and something I didn't even realize wasn't common because you have been my boss for so long. So I do so appreciate that, and I hope to bring that into my leadership positions I get into as I go forward, to be able to have that space to share and be honest. So I will congratulate you on that, on doing a very good job on that. My advice would be to slow down, and not in the like, oh my gosh, I work 48 hours a day, 24/7. I work so much, like not in that sense, but slowing down, because if you lose track of too many of the details, that you lessen the impact. And I think that while you have done fantastic things, I think it could have been better if it was slowed down a little bit. The details could have been caught, and it could have been that much more exceptional. So I think that's like, the potential is there. You just need to learn how to slow down and be able to really make that impact punch. And then lastly, I would say it's kind of piggybacking off the first one, is you also taught me how important relationships are, and how, an industry is more than just something you work in, but it's about the community you become a part of. I did not feel like I belonged in AV until I developed that community, and I would have never been brave enough to do it had you not shown me what that looks like in higher ed, and allowing me to be brave enough to do that with women in AV. So I will also forever be grateful for that. You helped me. You started helping me live out loud because you are so very out loud.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so I think that was it's been always been an inspiration. So that's my compliment sandwich, which I did teach you about.
You did teach me the compliment sandwich. It's funny. The other day I said that to someone too, the
Mm-hmm.
compliment sandwich, and I gave you credit for it. Like literally, they said something. I came out with a negative. I'm like, hold on. I mean, great work. That was fantastic. I love this. And then I said it, and then I did. And I said, and I have to complete the compliment sandwich by saying this
Yes,
is the most amazing
yes,
thing to start with. Hopefully, you can take my feedback and make it better, and we can
yeah.
see this move forward into.
Oh, I
Uh,
love that. You've grown so much.
I'm working on it, and to be honest, actually slowing down. I'm trying to do. That is
Mm-hmm.
something. Again, it even goes back to like I'm not in the day to day. Like
Yeah,
it's weird. Like so, it's kind of something I have to. I think I have to do it more with Hetma, but I love being out. Like the industry excites me. I mean, I love my work too and my job,
yeah.
but the
I think it gives you
things.
energy. I get that. I get that. And you've been going so fast for so long. I feel like part of you doesn't even know what that looks like to
Yeah,
slow down and not be doing a million things. But you've already built such a strong group of people in Hetma that being able to trust that they can lead and you could take a step back, I think that will be also huge. I think you're kind of starting to do that,
I'm
sort of.
trying. I'm trying. You know what? When Amy and I were out in the desert last week, and she's like, she actually gave me a compliment, which was very surprising. And and she said this. She's like, I want you to know that your group, your team, something I didn't get on a Hetma call. She's like, they're able to take it. You're like, so you're doing good. I'm like, oh yeah. And I was
Um,
like, I wanted to get in the pool instead, so I chose the
Part
pool
of
over a
letting
Hetma.
go and letting that impact show.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm getting there. It's still very. I will tell you, it's very hard for me. Like
Yeah.
it is very, very hard for me to do that. But all right, I will take. Thank you very much for the compliment sandwich. And now the very last thing. So since you've been on the show, I have always ended with a new little question ish.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
It kind of came off. Remember when I tried doing the little 1 minute thing, just the
Yes.
kind of advice
Yeah,
thing?
you did that in Jimmy's episode.
Yeah. So there we go. So this is it. You get 1 minute. The show is yours.
A minute.
Any 1 minute. I'm not counting it down six. It can be plus or minus, a little bit. 1 minute, any topic you want, and the time and your time starts now.
Oh gosh, this is a lot of pressure. I think. Wait, give me a second. I'm so
Okay.
overwhelmed by so many options. I don't like when things aren't specific. I think it kind of like piggybacks a little bit off of what Jimmy said, and it's finding that like balance between work and yourself and developing yourself. And I think that one of those things that it is so important to take the time to sit down and really reflect. What are the things I like? What are the things I'm not liking? And really try to dig into how you could do things that light you up more and how you could do a little bit of less of the stuff that's really draining you so that your job isn't something that you dread day in and day out. And you also need to be honest with yourself during these reflections to be able to know when it's time to leave and when it's time to try something new. And if you don't take the time to do that, I think you won't be as honest to yourself. You're being everything to everyone, but are you being your authentic self? Are you really enjoying things? So I think bottom line is take the time to reflect, take the time to really think about things, because I would hate for you to look back 10 years later and say, what did I do? I don't, what did I build or how did I get here?
Yeah,
So
I
that would
love
be
that.
my advice. That's what I've been trying to do lately as well.
I love it. I love that, and it shows. And last thing is congratulations again on
Thank
the new
you.
role, and of course the 40 under 40. Two big things in 1 week, week and a half. So there we go.
Yes. So
Uh,
exciting.
and then the last and very most important question: how can people get a hold of you and connect with you? Should they like to?
Probably LinkedIn. This is where you can find me. I have a bright blue shirt on and a green ring by the time you see this. So feel free to come and chat with me. I would love to help everyone and encourage you if you want to get out of higher ed and try a new adventure. I would love to help be a part of that introduction into the industry for you. But if you want to just chat, that's cool too. I love my higher ed peeps, and it's not like I'm going to ban you all.
Hey, you know what? And by the way, you should tell Ron and Mike and all. We have the Hetma Golf Classic coming up, and you now golf, right? And they've done it, so you got to get them out to Palm Springs.
Isn't it like hot?
No,
like
I ordered 80. I ordered 85 and partly cloudy for that day.
We'll see about that one.
No, it's actually only gotten about 100 in the desert.
Ron and I are more tennis players. I do like driving the cart though. That was very fun. I did that at Infocom during our golf tournament.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we can see it. Well, Lex, it was a pleasure having you on. I'm very proud of everything you've accomplished. I'm excited for you in this next role, and just can't wait to see where it goes even from here and how you do great things for Epiphan. So, thank you, and of course, everyone. Hopefully, you like, share, tell 100 of your closest friends about the show. All the opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of any respected institutions. Any companies, any sponsors, and anyone who might want to sue us or anything along those lines. And if you didn't like these opinions, there may be better ones next time. And we'll see you all next time.